So England are on the brink of victory, not far away from a win. In fact, I thought that they would get that extra half an hour to try and finish off the game today, but they didn't. South Africa came off the field. England, no wickets, sitting comfortably. As a fan, I'm sitting here disappointed, obviously upset. Various different emotions that we're going to go through. So let's discuss this game so far. Let's discuss today's game, day of play, where it went wrong for the Proteas, etc. How we are feeling as fans. This is a call-in show for you guys to call in and have your say too. The link is pinned to the top of the live chat, so you guys can always just click on that link and come have a conversation with me about this. There's quite a bit to discuss, guys, and also nothing to discuss as well at the same time. But let's dive deep into it. Let's get into this and try to understand what went wrong. First and foremost, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell for all future videos. I would also like you guys to please smash the like button. I would like you to comment and share, please, with your friends and family. Get this channel out to more people. Also, download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. This is your latest issue. Please go ahead and download it when you have the chance. If you want to help us grow South African cricket and promote South African cricket, get involved with the Patron account. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, guys, let's get straight into today's video. Not looking forward to necessarily talk about this, but I always enjoy talking to you guys. So let's get straight into this. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show, your review show. I'm your host, Khalid. This is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the third test between South Africa and England. It's day 4, ultimately day 2 of the test match because of the first 2 cancellations of the first 2 days. And South Africa is sitting in a pretty dark situation with regards to this match. Now, here's the match summary for you guys so that you can have a look. Batting is the reason why we lost this series, or I'm going to be putting it down as a lost series so far. Whether we draw this match or whether we tomorrow, if there's rain, there's a possibility because we're supposed to rain all day tomorrow. That could be a possibility, but I don't think South Africa deserve a victory in this particular test. It's been completely horrible performance with the bat. 118, 169. Pathetic performance with the bat. Improved slightly in certain aspects. They improved slightly with their certain approaches, but still look out of sorts when the ball is doing something on the pitch. Now, I'm not going to make excuses for anybody. This was a poor performance. I mean, I wouldn't even care if they went back, reset, change this entire top 6, find a fresh way and combinations. I'm not saying axe everybody, but I'm saying find different combinations that work, that complement each other. Because what this is now, it ain't happening. It ain't happening for anybody. Every single thing went wrong in this particular test match. After Lords, we were on such a high, so confident, and then decisions just went the wrong way. We made the wrong decision in Manchester to pick the extra spinner. We made the wrong decision to drop one of our best players on tour, which is Marco Jansen. We made a hell of a lot of changes in the second match, which completely unsettled, I felt, the batting lineup and anything that they learned. We put our youngsters under the microscope, our inexperienced guys under the microscope, and they did not deliver. Our experienced guys, our best players like Dean Algar, did not deliver. And hats off, I have to give only one positive. And that's hats off to the bowlers. No matter how much pressure they were under with the low total that they had to defend, they did an exceptional job to bowl England out for 160. And all we could have asked is for our batters to put in a proper performance, guts it out, survive, try and try and get at least a draw. But it looks like we played right into the hands of England, and now they are on the brink of victory. Now, let's talk about the end of this match. England were exceedingly upset that the umpires called them off the field. I think they're also aware about what is going to be happening with regards to the weather tomorrow. But this was the scenes in the dressing room. Everybody vividly upset about the players being called off with only 30 runs left to victory. So this could fall in South Africa's favor with regards to that, because when I look at the weather report for this week, which we've constantly spoken about, we said there's 2 days of cricket, and this is that the weather report suggests it's supposed to rain on Monday. So we don't know what's going to be happening tomorrow. It could end up in a draw because of the rain and the weather. South Africa obviously still weren't as upset to come off. They were happy that they to come off the field as clear as day. And I do feel that the umpires disrupted both sides yesterday and today with regards to the two teams. But this was a pathetic batting performance, and I can't say anything else but that. We need to sort out our batting. Things that bother me, yesterday's press conference with the batting coach, talking about that he doesn't know what the problem is. That those type of things concern me a lot when the people that are in the hierarchy of this team can't put the finger on what is going down. This isn't the first time that we've seen South Africa struggle when the ball's nipping off the pitch. Now, I know some people might have gotten the misconception that this ball was swinging around. Nasser Hussain and Kevin Peterson were arguing about it, not arguing about it, but discussing it on air, as well as Atherton as well, talking about the fact that Nasser actually, one of them actually said that the ball was swinging, and then KP rebutted that, saying that no, the ball's actually moving. I mean, off the seam. Because if you look at the dismissals and how many of the same dismissals, it's exactly the same bloody dismissals that all of our players are falling to. That ball angled in, knocking over the stumps. How many of our batters fell for the same crap and fell for the same mistakes? Played the same weak shots outside off, massive gaps between the bat and pad, not putting their bat in front, making contact with the bat, playing at every delivery, not leaving deliveries. It's basic test cricket that wasn't played. And just like England were talking about how they want to go out of their shell and try to play an expansive brand of cricket, we went into our shells. Did exactly the opposite. There was no brand of cricket from our part that we could say sit comfortably and say, we know we're playing an attractive brand of cricket, or what they want to call smart cricket. There was nothing of that. I'm sorry, that's the truth. And I'm sitting here, I'm peeved off with this performance. I don't like what I saw in the matches. All that county experience we spoke about from our batters, learning from the county, scoring double centuries in county cricket or centuries on the trot in county cricket, and getting into the real form helped us. How did that help us? It never didn't help us at all. We're currently sitting in a situation where we're losing a test match in 2 days. It's pathetic, guys. And I don't know what else more to say about that. I'm really peeved off, my opinion wise. This is obviously my opinion, not the opinion of Cricket Fanatics magazine as a whole. But I'm extremely upset about this performance. This is a call-in show, so you guys can call in. There is a caller waiting for me. So let's get him on the show. Welcome to the show, Gaurav. What would you like to say?
Am I audible?
I'm not so well.
Hello, am I audible?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can. Am I audible? I'm asking that.
Yeah, I'm not very well. What's your thoughts on the game? How are you feeling?
I think we didn't bat well, to be honest. If Crawley can score that many runs, then I don't think there is problem in the pitch. Batsmen are not able to apply themselves properly. Also, I think the decision for Elgar to not review wasn't good. That changed the game completely. Because we know how fragile our batting order is. Also, I think KP didn't play well, get starts and got out on cheap shot again and again.
Yeah, you 100% correct. Uh, That was puzzling decision by Dean Alga, a captain who needs to take responsibility. You can't go 16 matches without a century for South Africa if you're the captain of the team batting at the top of the order. That is not a good sign. But walking off for an LBW dismissal was baffling to me with three reviews in the bank. I mean, that is insane. If you know that you are the key to that innings, you 100% correct. That did turn the game. But still, even with that, the performances from this batting lineup was just amateur. It was. I see Tivani saying it in the chat over here. He says immature cricket, not taking responsibility. So where do you think South Africa can improve, Gorav? Where can they improve? What do you think they can learn from this particular pathetic performance with the bat?
I think only positive I think is that they are getting experience. Other than that, I think they need to apply themselves, take time. Also, the angle they need to check the angle of the bat. The Salmons talked about. They can use different angle to at least get themselves chance if they don't get out.
Mm. Thanks a lot, Gura, for coming on the show. Thank you for giving me your points. It really helps a lot. Thanks a lot for coming to chat to us. Angles, yep. Batting approach, strategy, patience. You know what? I'm going to sit here and analyze it a little bit and try to think about it. Thank you. My friend is here with me to really get into it. At least he'll match the same energy as me. Lorenzo, welcome to the show, buddy. I'm pissed. I'm sitting here upset. Everybody's to blame over here. I don't like the fact that fans look for scapegoats every single time there's a bad performance. Uh, I don't think there's any scapegoat over here. Ultimately, it's the batting performance that was completely poor. They need to do a reset. They need to go look back, see who see if they have picked the right selections. Double check that. Go look at the combinations that they have, but sort out their technical problems against balls moving. I spoke about this before every single test series. Before India, the test we won, before New Zealand, before England, I spoke about it consistently. The one thing I said is that if any of these teams have a good bowler that can put the ball on a spot on the same spot continuously and get the pitch to talk or the ball to move, and the ball moves around, we're going to start struggling. Everybody's going to struggle, and that can't be the situation that you're walking to a game with, Lorenzo. What is your thoughts? How do we fix this? What positives are there out of this particular batting performances?
Yo, Khalid. Yeah, I'm also not feeling nice. Yeah, I just feel everybody needs to take responsibility. For the bowlers, I think this should go down. This series should go down to our batters for the first of all the inconsistency. I mean, 150 in six inning in how many? Yeah, 6 innings, 150. And it was in the first innings of the first test. Subtle earlier. So yeah, I just feel the batters need to take a lot of responsibility. I, we don't play enough test cricket, Holly. That's our problem. We don't play enough tour matches. That's our problem. I think even Nessa Sain mentioned it on air. We had a chance to play a 2 or 3 day game. For the 2 weeks we were off, but Mark Boucher and the coaching staff decided not to. I mean, why not? It could have been a good chance for Aiden Markram to go out and score 100 or even a double hundred, just to give him a bit of confidence again. And
Mm,
maybe he could have played in the. Then he could have played also the last test with a bit of confidence. But I was actually I was happy it was dropped. But they're just an example we could have used. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just very pissed when it comes to when it comes to I just feel that KP was also very disappointing for me in the series. I think we all said it prior to when the series started that this is a big series for him. I think he actually batted well today. I think he counter attacked. He
Mhm.
almost played like Ollie Pope played the whole series today. But I'm just very, very disappointed in him. And the other player, I'm also very, very disappointed in Khalid. I'm not gonna have a go at Ryan Rickleton. I'm not gonna have a go at Kaya Zondo. It's their first game, so you can't actually have a go at them. The other better I'm gonna have a go at is Calvarine. I mean, we can't go on like
Mm,
this. I'm not saying he must be dropped. That's not what I'm saying. But I think he also need to take responsibility now, Khalid. He's been playing international cricket, one day cricket, and test cricket for almost 2 years now for South Africa, right? He's been in the environment for almost 2 years now. But what is our batting coach doing with him? Because his technique is not changing. He's getting out the same way all the time. So clearly for me, there's nothing happening in his technique because let's get it straight. He plays down the line of straight balls and leaks it to the keeper. He go he gets out all the time like that. And even today, look at today, when he couldn't get the ball of the square, and when he tried to attack, he went out. So clearly his mind is scrambled. So my question is, what are we going to do going forward? What's the process
That's
going forward?
exactly
Are we
the
going to
same
stick with
question I
these
have.
guys? Yes, I feel we should stick with them, but then they should come to the party, Khalid. I mean, they should really now. I feel that KP as well as Verena, they're two young guys, but they need to score runs. It's not gonna
Yeah.
you're not gonna go to Pakistan, for example. Yeah, you're not gonna go to Pakistan all the time. We're gonna get flat wickets. Look at what Australia when they played that series at the beginning of the year. It was a flat route. 400 play 500 flat routes. These guys must score runs in adverse situations. When they 4 wickets down, they must score runs. Today there was a little bit of platform today, and we still capitulated. So
Yeah.
I just feel this is not a talent thing. This is a mindset thing, and it's a technique thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my feeling
Yeah. Let's talk.
surrounding
Let's
that.
talk. Let's talk a little bit about this because I think we can do it justice, myself and you.
You there?
Analyzing it. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yo. Hello. Can you guys hear me in the live chat? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Khalid is having internet
I
issues,
can.
guys.
I mean, I can hear you perfectly. I don't know if everybody can hear this. Guys, can you just tell me if you're hearing me in the live chat, please? Because I don't know what's going on. Um, okay, so they can hear me fine. So, Hardy, yes, like something's going up with you can't hear me, Lorenzo. So from your side, so I don't know what's going on. Please try to reconnect. Okay. I understand Lorenzo's points on Calvarena. And I do agree with the fact that he needs to sort out his game. But at this point, I'm not making excuses for him, and I'm not going to make excuses for any batter because they need to be better than looking very amateurish, and they're not looking like the players that we thought they were when they played domestic cricket. Now, what is the reason for that? First and foremost, Calvarain has been thrown under enormous amount of pressure. The idea at the beginning with him was right, bringing him into the squad, easing him into the team, Quinton Cox back up, etc. Maybe they were thinking about playing him as a batter alone first, and then then as he gets himself into Test cricket and understands the game better, then you have a situation where you've got to settle batters that can play their style of play. Now, there's so many issues with the South African setup, with the South African team. It is insane. So, first and foremost, I've got a problem with the transitional phase, the way we select players for the future, the way we build a team and a unit that play together. Second of all, I don't like the way we transition youngsters into this team. There's too much responsibility put on our younger, inexperienced players to save us from matches. That's a responsibility should be Dean Alger's responsibility as the captain at the top of the order to score bloody runs. The guy hasn't scored a score in 16 matches. It's not good for a captain as well as an opening batter, your main and your best player to not perform on a tour like this when you're the one that speaks so confidently, so confidently before the series, talking about your style of cricket and the mentality, and then you put performances on like this and go out the way you have. How can you go out? How can you go out twice in two identical identical fashion? Was there no talking about that balls that were angling off the seam? Like I mean, the wobble seam was causing us problems. That balls were angling in from fifth stump almost into and knocking over our stumps, and our batters were falling for it every single bloody time. It was clear to see that how England was going to bowl. So why couldn't we come up with a game plan that's going to work that? I don't. I'm not a professional cricketer, so I don't know what the plan would be. standing outside off stump, perhaps closer to your leg stump than middle stump, maybe standing out of the crease, maybe coming down the track, maybe those are all maybe opportunities for South Africa to have maybe put in a better batting performance. But my God, this is not a problem that we're having now. So that's why I'm refraining from blaming our players. I'm refraining from that because I don't think these players, especially our younger players, are getting the right support. Aiden Markram, when he walked in as a young player into the national side, didn't have the best of batting coaches to really help him try to understand his game. He played purely on confidence and his own game plan that he believed in. He was the one that was saving our side. Our we put all the pressure and the responsibility and our belief in Aiden Markram, a young 22-year-old coming onto the scene at the time to play Test cricket. We put all our eggs in his basket, putting all the pressure on his shoulders to try and save us from the crap decisions we've made in the past. So, like I said, this is a symptom of the past. This is a symptom of our failures of the past, particularly with regards to selecting players. And I know it's difficult for people to think like this and maybe to see this and say this without evidence, but there's sometimes seems an ounce of favoritism with certain players that get into our teams. And I think we need to press the reset button and decide how are we going to rebuild this team, because this particular squad is clearly not good enough to be able to win a championship. Because, in my opinion, you need a team that can be able to play in all conditions. Even if you're not playing beautiful cricket, at least defend, at least have a good defense. I mean, at least have an idea on how you're going to rotate the strike to take pressure off. With England, with this bowling attack, with an injured Ben Stokes that had to walk off with his knee hobbling, half the time he's walking around hobbling. You've got two older guys that are coming towards the end of their career in the next three or so years that you could have targeted. You've got Ollie Robinson that's coming in, who's new to this, who got brought in with a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and we don't try the mindset of outlasting them. We played right into their hands. Lorenzo's back. Let's see if it works now. How's it, bro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. Internet connection issues.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question here because I'm not going to blame any of our batters. I'm going to take this stance right now, and I want to see how you respond to this because I think you won't maybe like what I'm saying here. But I said this before. This is a symptom of the failures of the past, and it's continuous. It's not like it's changed. We're falling for the same crap every time we play on a wicket that's a little bit spicy. Now, this wicket was spicy, but you could see the two openers of England today, how they played and approached us. The problem is we didn't play Test cricket. We didn't play the long game with this team. I looked at the bowling lineup and I said, but they don't have Jofra Archer and they don't have Mark Wood with pace coming in here. They've got older guys over here that if you push them to the limit, they might crack. They might miss their lines. We didn't play the long game with him. We didn't play the endurance game with him. When you have players like Cyril Ewe and Dean Elgar at the top of your order, you expect them to grit it out. My problem with this batting lineup, which was so evident, is the amount of times we play at deliveries that we shouldn't. We try and play at every single delivery. This is not 4-day cricket, man. This is not first class 4-day cricket where you can play at every delivery and get away with luck. Every single delivery we play, you know how many close shaves were there where the batters pulled the bat away from the ball on the last minute. Kyle Zondo almost got dismissed like that. Alga does it consistently. Cyril Ewe doesn't even spend enough time at the crease for us to be able to feel that he can get in. Dean Elgar hasn't scored 116 games. KP has been. We put all this pressure on KP to be the next number 3 so quickly without experience behind him for support. He has to learn the game on his own. Doesn't seem like they're getting anything from their batting coach, who's supposed to be there to be able to analyze and see where things are going wrong. It's just all around. If we don't sort out our batting, we're never going to win Test match. We're never going to win a World Test Championship because we are relying way too much on our bowlers. So, Lorenzo, I want you to give us a thought process on how do we move forward over here, because I don't put the batters' frailties and the batting balls solely on the players alone. I think that it has a lot to do with our coaching staff. I think it has a lot to do with our with our selectors not understanding what is necessary from a player's mentality and an understanding of their own game for them to be at a level that is ready to be able to play Test cricket. So, what is your thoughts on the future? How do we move forward from this?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think in terms of not blaming the batters, I have a different opinion there, as you know by now. I think batters are there to score runs. I think our bowlers, we're not talking about our bowlers, but why our bowlers is doing a job taking wickets, but why can't our batters score runs? You see what I mean? So that's why I feel the batters need to take more responsibility. I mean, we can't have it both ways. We can't say, okay, the bowlers is doing fantastically, but when the batters are not doing so great, okay, so we can't. I know you say not blaming them um, per se, but to a certain extent or to a certain degree, I think they must take responsibility and
Yes,
accountability
true.
for yes for the. I know you. I know what you
Can I
mean.
add a point there?
I don't. Yeah.
Can I add this add a point there? You know why I say this? Because I remember the press conference with Otis Gibson, the first one. I was in it live. It was I was there in the press box in the front row. I actually asked the first question. And I remember the thought process with Otis Gibson. He came in there and said, "We have the best bowling attack in the world. We're going to bowl team oppositions out. That's going to be our strategy. We're
Yeah, I
going to
can
try to
remember that.
bowl our teams. Remember, we're going to try to bowl our teams because
Yes.
he understood that our batting, even with the likes of AB in it, Amla in it, all of those, Dane Alge in it, all of those players in it, experienced players, he's like, wait, we need to bowl. Our bowling is our strong point. We need to bowl teams out, get 20 wickets, and then our batters can go in and do the job for us. They knew that we had batting frailties back then already, and at that point, they never made any moves to say, you know what? These players are going to move on. Let's replace them now already. Let's get these guys into the system already. Let them go on SA tours, get ready for it. Come to the squad, learn about the team, being part of the environment. Listen to the team talks because the most important thing for me for these players would have been not necessarily only playing out in the middle, but listen to how the other batters, especially the experienced guys, this is the aspect that I would want them to learn from them. Especially when you have experienced guys in the team, listen to how they talk about the conditions, how they approach their game, how they go through their preparation, how they practice in the net to prepare for certain tricky conditions, how they talk in the dressing room with the coach to decide what game plan they're going to take. That is all valuable information that I feel players like KP, players like Alvarena, players like Ryan Rickleton, players like, to an extent, you could even maybe say, you can say Marco Jansen and them too. They've been almost robbed from of that with a bat. I'm talking about. They've been robbed from that
Yes.
experience, and we're throwing them into the highest level. It's like telling a lawyer that just started to become a student at the university to go write the bar tomorrow. That's what we're expecting
Yeah.
from our batters. That's exactly what we're expecting from our batters. Because you can't average 50. You can't average 50 in red ball cricket and then say we want to say that the players can't bat. It's impossible to think that. There are other issues at play here, particularly that they're not learning fast enough. So it makes
Mm,
it extremely odd to me why these lessons and why these things haven't been learned and why we are still having the same issues. If it was different issues, Lorenzo, I would completely sit behind your statement as a whole because but it's the same issues. We went away, we learned some spin, we sorted out that issue, but the main issue was still there. When you see Shami bowl at us, when you see Afridi bowl at us, when you see the likes of Broad and Anderson bowl at us, when you see the likes of Mitchell Stark bowl at us, we struggle. We struggle. I mean, even against Australia, that ball tampering match, that series, I remember that series clearly. If it wasn't for AB de Villiers and Aiden Markram, we would
yeah.
be in big shit. We would probably, and to an extent also Temba Bavuma and Quinny, because they are a massive loss in this team. So we basically have a complete new top six other than Algar, and we're expecting them to compete with settled teams that have played Test cricket, that are experienced, that understand their conditions, and expect them to be at the level of those guys. It's in Test cricket, it's a lot harder, but we're not giving our players the opportunity to try and learn their game. We are putting so much pressure on these players. It's un it's unfathomable for me because if I look at the other guys, Peter Malan, look what happened with him. Comes in against England, scores a 80, shows the grit that we need at the top of the order to be a partner with Dean Alga, gone. Zubair Hamza gets into the team in an experienced team, gets put at number 3 to replace Hashim Amla. No protection. We've got players like Timba Bavuma in the team, Quinn de Kock that could have moved up the order, protect the youngster, like they did with Pope. And I use that example over and over again because Pope was a brilliant example of how you treat a youngster coming into Test cricket. You give him the opportunity to fail. Give him that. We're not giving our batters the space to fail and learn from their game. They're going back almost into survival mode and their technique goes out to the window. That's what I'm observing from this because it's all about now shit. We need survival. Use everything that I know and try to survive here in the middle. Calvarena, for example, who you singled out, has come into the lineup every single time with the team collapsing, facing the new ball. Something that he would have never have experienced in domestic cricket. The amount of times that he is. I've always spoken about Calvarena in domestic cricket, saying that for the Cobras, he's always been that player that when the team is 5 down, comes in and saves the innings. It's a lot easier to do that in domestic cricket when you're going to get wayward balls. In this particular match, if you're 5 down, the pressure's different. The pressure's not off you because that means that the opposition is cramping you on both sides. We do nothing to try to take the pressure off. How many singles and I would like to see how many singles and doubles we ran in this particular series as a whole. It's shocking that we don't try. If you see that you are struggling against an opposition bowler and you can't get off the mark, get yourself off the mark. Take a quick single, run, find a way to get yourself into the game. And we don't play strategically like that. So
No, I agree with you. There was an incident today where I think we were on 94. We were on 94 for like almost like 6 or 7 overs. We couldn't buy a run when Van Mulder and Zondo was batting, and you could see there was just most of our batters just are there to survive. But coming back to your point, Khalid, you know why I'm so critical about our batters, right? Because I hold our batters in high regard because we have talented players. We come from South Africa is a cricket and rugby country. We have talented players, right? For me, it's not about the age. If you have the talent to play there, if you're 4 wickets down, if 3 wickets down, Hashim Amla, the Hustle Gibbses, they score runs in adverse situations, right? So why can't a player like Calvarino score runs in adverse situations? This is my question, and this is where the batting
because the
coach and
pressure
the
is
coaching
less.
staff,
Because the
yes,
pressure is less.
yeah,
When Hashim Amla and Herschel Gibbs are batting, look at the
true,
batting lineups around them. Look at the
true.
players around
They
them.
that yes, that colors they AB the Villiers, they five. I agree with you 100%, right? But my
And
thing
we
is
we
this.
we
This is where
underestimate that value. We
yes,
underestimate that value. What that does. Imagine you sitting in a dressing room, Lorenzo. Would you rather want guys that have played in England 2 tours, or would you rather want guys that have never played in these conditions before? Because when I asked Dean Alga questions as well about certain things, Dean Alga,
yes.
it's not like he had the best record in England either. He came off of a loss the last time he was there. He didn't really figure out the conditions himself. So for him to come down here and play to give these guys
Yes.
advice, but he's not putting on runs. Like as
In
a
my
batter,
in
how
my
do you
thing,
trust that?
I agree with you 100%. And my thing is this, Khalid. I have this feeling that Mark Boucher doesn't have the coaching staff that he wants. Right? I don't think he wants Justin Simmons. You know who I think he wants? He wants Jacques Callas to be there. He wants Jacques Callas to be there. But because of what happened in the past with when Graham Smith was that situation, right? You just said it now. When you have a Jacques Callas there, a Graham Smith there, a Ursel Gibbs there, it's different, right? So we can have a Jacques Callas there, yes, not in a playing capacity, but as a betting coach. Why can't we have Jacques Callas? I will take Jacques
Because we
Callas
had him,
over Justin Simmons. Yes, I know, but then he left
and
because
and he
of
and
obvious reasons.
no, what
For
is the
obvious
reason? Tell
reasons,
me.
we all know what was the reason because it was buddy. The media portrayed it was buddy.
No,
He
that
just selected
no that
Jacques.
that was the media narrative. Yes, that was the media narrative. Jacques, I watched Jacques Callis as a coach for South Africa. The man was with the South African team, and he was working with certain batters. right? But he didn't work with everybody. There were a lot of players, of the younger players that we have, that he never really necessarily worked with. He spent a lot of time with our white ball team, more than so than the test team. I don't think Joe Callis wants to be part of this team and sacrifice and put the sacrifice in that he's required of a batting coach to be a part of this team. We gave him the opportunity to be there. He didn't take it. Even with England, he took a batting consultancy role, not a permanent position. I don't think he wants a permanent position as a batting coach. I think that is the reality of it. I think that Jacques Callis is maybe moving towards more of a coaching, being a main coach, and especially looking at those
Okay.
IPLs and etc., trying to become a coach. There are a lot of other options that we could have added, perhaps as batting coaches. For example, I felt that Ashwell Prince should have been one of the people that was in contention as a
Now
batting coach
that's
for
what I
this
wanted to
team.
say now.
But
Yeah.
but they will never work together with Mark Boucher. That's something that Mark Boucher and Ashwell Prince. I don't know if they can put aside whatever they have between them. I don't know if there is anything between them. But that would have been a brilliant option. When you look at the other ex batters that played for South Africa, how many of them actually want to be batting consultants or batting coaches to Mark Boucher? A lot of them. We have a batting lead in Neil McKenzie, who oversees the batting as a lead and helps out where he can. Not a permanent batting coach. They haven't called for his help. My problem is Benkenstein was our batting coach. Not a no test experience for South Africa, really. I mean, from to a degree that you could say, oh my God, he should be the batting coach. Justin Sam is the same, no international experience. That's why he's sitting in a press conference yesterday saying, I don't know what's going on. So there's a lot of problems over here that they need to sort out. And they need to start making the right decisions because our players, because that's why I said we maybe need to go off what is considered um, the what is the word I'm looking for? We need to go off the track that we think is the right track and maybe try something that's innovative and different. Because we're sitting with a situation now that no matter what we do, every single player that we give an opportunity is going to struggle in Test cricket right now. We have to accept that as a fan base. We might get lucky where one or two players come and take to it like a duck to water and understand it fully. But then they're going to have to do a lot more research to see. I can give a little bit of a tip. The best, the way we can find this, the best new ball bowler in South Africa at the moment in domestic cricket, in my opinion, is Glenton Steerman. Moves the ball amazingly, the new ball. He puts batters under a lot of pressure. Ball moves a lot. What I suggest that the selectors do is go and look at the stats and see how many players played well against Glenton Steerman in his first spells. Who survived those spells? Who managed to be able to survive and go on to score runs? That's a good start to maybe find your next opener because you need to see who has combated our best new ball bowlers that when the ball's moving around, who has combated that particular problem. Because that's an issue that we have in this lineup. We have nobody that can play the ball when it's moving. Dean Alga has always been the type of player that gets a dirty knock. He's never looked comfortable against any bowler, hardly ever. Right? So we know that about him. But we can't have two openers playing the same style, playing this dirty style of cricket, not being confident. We're just going to put ourselves under pressure every single time when we walk to the middle because then we know that they can just set us up on both ends and make it a hassle for us and make it uncomfortable for us. So we need to find a release at the top order who can take the pressure off us. But I think that will be a good example is to maybe look at those players that have opened the bowling in domestic cricket. Go look at the guys that have been doing well in their first spells with the new ball, and go find the guys that have batted the best against those bowlers and those skill sets. That's what I think we need to do to try and rectify these problems. But we have to accept as a fan base, and I'm sorry, guys, we have load shedding, so that's a bit grainy and dark. We have to accept as a fan base that we are going to struggle for the next 2 3 years with finding the right players to play the style. They need to go back to the drawing board and sort out these issues. There are too many issues, a lack of understanding of game plans, a lack of understanding of conditions, and ability to read it. Poor performance overall. We need to fix it. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for the callers. Don't forget to do all the things that I asked you to do at the top of the video, like subscribe, like, comment, share, download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Become a Patreon today. Links are all in the description. And go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all updates. I'm sorry, guys, that this went this way. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful week despite what happens tomorrow in the match. I do think that it's going to rain tomorrow, and there might be a draw. It might end up to be a draw in the end of the day, which would be a kind of a fair, kind of be an okay result in the end. Um, but at this moment in time, South Africa don't deserve this victory. So I'm taking this as a defeat in my eyes. It feels like a defeat, regardless of what the result is tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another review show, daily show, dependable on what happens in the game. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your week. Take care, guys. Peace.